let's get to which team would now be leading the investigation in the Delhi blast case. It is the NIA, India's top premier anti-terror agency, is joining the investigation today in Srinagar, a team that has been dispatched and joint interrogation of the doctors in question who have been arrested. Multiple of them are other accused and suspects also detained for questioning, but that is now going to take place. As far as the individual, also a former imam in question, who is said to be the one who sent out propaganda material and also radicalized and indoctrinated when it comes to the young minds of those doctors. Now, what is being said at JSC Srinagar, where this investigation has been taking place? All of the accused were interrogated by a joint team of agencies that lasted for over 10 hours, and the interrogation is expected to continue. As far as the NIA is now taking charge, as is taking over when we speak to the Delhi blast case. Let's connect with Ankit and Bhavtosh on the broadcast. Ankit, जो ये तार जुड़ते हुए जा रहे हैं, चाहे वो जम्मू कश्मीर से फरीदाबाद से दिल्ली और चाहे लखनऊ भी, हमने देखा है ये सारे तार जो जुड़ते जा रहे हैं। अब एनआईए का टेक ओवर होने वाला है इन्वेस्टिगेशन की तरफ से, और हमने देखा है कि एक टीम जल्द ही पहुंचने वाली है श्रीनगर।
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं आप। एनआईए की टीम जो है वो श्रीनगर पहुंचने वाली है। जेआईसी जो श्रीनगर में है, वहां पर जो ये आरोपी रखे गए हैं, जो ये व्हाइट कॉलर टेररिस्ट रखे गए हैं, उनसे लगातार पूछताछ की जाएगी। कल भी हमने देखा था कि तकरीबन 10 घंटे तक व्हाइट कॉलर आतंकियों से जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस और सुरक्षा एजेंसियों की तरफ पूछताछ की गई, क्योंकि अब पूरी तरीके से दिल्ली ब्लास्ट की जांच जो है वो एनआईए की तरफ से की जा रही है। ऐसे में क्योंकि जो तार है दिल्ली ब्लास्ट केस के, वो कश्मीर घाटी के साथ जुड़ते हुए नजर आ रहे थे, और ऐसे में एनआईए की टीम जो है वो कश्मीर घाटी जेआईसी पहुंचने वाली है, जहां पर जितने भी अक्यूज ये व्हाइट कॉलर टेररिस्ट रखे गए थे उनसे पूछताछ की जाएगी। वहीं जो सूत्र है वो हमें ये भी बता रहे हैं कि पिछले 3 दिन से लगातार जो ऑपरेशन कश्मीर घाटी में चलाया गया, ये टोटली नॉन काइनेटिक ऑपरेशन था। सैटरडे से पूरी तरीके से जम्मू कश्मीर के अलग अलग जिलों में रेड की गई। तकरीबन 1400 से ज्यादा इलाकों में क्रैकडाउन किया गया, 100 से ज्यादा लोगों को डिटेन किया गया। ये साफ दिखाता है कि किस तरीके से जम्मू कश्मीर one of its highest anti-terror operation and the crackdown on the sympathizers, OGWs, has been done by the Jammu and Kashmir police, and it still continues.
All right, the investigation continues as they are close on establishing a Pakistan link as well. The Pakistani handler of the Jaish module is also being identified. But let's speak on the line of questioning is concerned, because we'll speak to Bhavtosh on that angle. What we are getting to know, the line of questioning that has been accessed as the NIA team has been dispatched for Srinagar, and the areas that are now expected to be covered in this questioning, especially when it comes to the question of explosives, the weapons, the timers and other equipments. How was those components procured? How were the materials transported from multiple states? Where were they living? The accommodation rented? What was the specific intended targets for these attacks? Bhavtosh, all of this and of course much more in-depth investigation now expected on part of the NIA.
Yes, Amita, in fact, adding to what Ankit has said, the questioning is required while the NIA has taken over the Delhi blast case, but case virtually is linked to the huge explosives that was seized in Faridabad and subsequent the seizures and arrests that were made by the Jammu and Kashmir police. Because those who have been arrested are the actual people or the perpetrators of the blast that happened in Delhi, and they know what exactly was happening in Faridabad as well as in Srinagar. Remember, it was the arrest of Adil that virtually opened the Pandora's box, and which led to, in fact, arrest of Muzammil, and then subsequent arrest of Dr. Shaheen, the woman doctor, and also the leads about Dr. Omar. Omar was the one who, in fact, fled from the university on 10th of February, roamed around in the city for nearly 12 hours before his car went off, though there are question marks as to whether he did this in a pre-planned manner or whether it was accidentally that the car went off. But it is very clear that he was panicking, because for nearly 13 hours he was driving in and around Delhi and did not select any specific target. Now, the NIA will be joining the investigation, since all the 8 to 9 accused are in the custody for next 10 days. The questioning will be done. But the important part is whether the group was self-radicalized, whether they have any direct links to Jaish-e-Mohammed, whether they were in touch with any Pakistani handlers, and whether they were receiving any finances. Because apart from the huge amount of explosives that have been seized, there are also, in fact, AK-47 assault rifles that they have in their possession, and also the number of trips that they have made to Srinagar and other parts of Kashmir Valley as well as in Haryana.
All right, we're going to put that in perspective. As far as the line of questioning, what is being said has now been accessed. Soon the NIA will be taking over the investigation. The team that would be reaching Srinagar, a joint investigation and interrogation of the terror accused in the case that has taken place. But there are other individuals and terror suspects who have also been detained for questioning. Let's put out exactly when it comes to the line of questioning that we are exactly talking about, as Bhavtosh has been getting us the details when the NIA team would be reaching Srinagar. The areas that are likely to be covered in those questioning, let's take you through them one by one. And of course, when it comes to the role of the seized material that we are looking at, let's also talk about explosives, because it was almost like warlike stores that has been recovered. How were the materials moved across different states there? Were the rooms rented as far as the accommodation is concerned? What were the intended targets? It was in Delhi or in other locations. Was a timeline now set for the attack? As far as when it comes to the role of the seized material, all of these are said to be part of it. Did they assemble the IEDs or did they fail? Was it an attack that was triggered because of panic? And the Pakistani link of their handlers is to be established. Did the accused also, when it comes to how did they manage when it comes to come together in a way that they were radicalized to such an extent, because all of them being highly trained, highly educated medical practitioners that we are talking about. How did they meet each other, and what did Muzammil meet? When did he meet Dr. Shaheen, who apparently is being saying was given the task of the recruiter of the women's wing of the Jaish-e-Mohammed? Now, as far as these angles are concerned, we talk about the plot in detail. Dr. Omar and Dr. Muzammil, what is being said that they carried out the reconnaissance or the recce of the Red Fort since January, and that is through sources. What we are learning was the Red Fort actually the target that was set by these terrorists. As far as when it comes to multiple locations there, being one of them was Red Fort, and the recce was carried out by the terrorists in this case. Now, as far as Dr. Muzammil is concerned, he is already in custody, but Dr. Omar, however, did manage to flee from the security agencies. So, Bhavtosh, this information that you are sharing with us, was Red Fort the initial target?
Yes, Amita. In fact, Red Fort at least holds a very historical significance. And in December 2000 itself, Red Fort was targeted by Lashkar-e-Toiba. In fact, it was one of their first target in the capital way back in December 2000. And the fact that both of them, Dr. Omar as well as Dr. Muzammil, both of them had visited that place. This has come out of in the questioning of Dr. Muzammil, that he, along with Dr. Omar, had gone there twice in January, that is around 9 months back, and these visits were made. Now, the question is whether they were going there for reconnaissance, because his entire movement, if you see, was the movement started from Faridabad, and then subsequently he went to Suneri Masjid in New Delhi, then roamed around in the area, went to Red Fort. Though the tweet that has been put out by J&K police did mention that you can hide, but you can't escape. That does show that they were, in fact, in a way, asking Dr. Omar to surrender. But it is also true that the large amount of explosives were seized, and they were looking for a very big target, a high impact target. So that is also been completely not being negated. So there are several parts of this module that needs to be dismantled and needs to be exposed. But it's a disturbing information that at least 2 other terrorists, as far as this case is concerned, one who is now dead and other who has been arrested, did carry out a reconnaissance and a recce of Red Fort on 2 occasions in January.
Right, but even when it comes to the information there, that seems to be incomplete on their end, isn't it, Bhavtosh? Because as far as Red Fort is concerned, as you said that apparently Dr. Nabi knew that his time was up. His pictures were already being circulated on part of the security agencies, but failed exactly when it comes to carrying out a major terror attack. Because Red Fort apparently is closed on Monday. It remains closed for the next 3 days, as according to the ASI. But right now this development is coming across, even that they did carry out the recce, a much fatal, a much bigger terror plot was foiled.
Yes, a very big terror plot was spoiled, and that has been made clear by the security agencies' sources. They have said that the fact that 2,953 kgs of explosives were seized, timers have been also seized along with detonators. AK-47 assault rifles have been seized. Other automatic weapons have been seized. The fact that 8 members of the terror module have been arrested, exposed without any kind of gun battle, and a quick coordination between various state police from JNK to Haryana police, and searches being carried out not only in JNK but also in Haryana as well as in Uttar Pradesh shows that there was a coordination and a very big tragedy has been averted. However, while doing so, one of the accused did manage to flee or escape, and he, in fact, in a panic reaction, that's what sources are saying, that he blew himself, and they are looking whether this was done in a pre-planned manner or it was something that he did out of panic. That for this very reason, Amita, the case has been handed over to NIA, which is an anti-terror federal probe agency, and they have time with them. They are carrying out joint interrogation. What is very clear is that more arrests are likely in this case. It's not that the probe is now over.
Absolutely,
Investigations are
we have
over.
seen the pictures that came in, Bhavtosh, a short while back, that the Jammu and Kashmir police have been carrying out searches and raids, especially in Shopian, where multiple individuals have been picked up for questioning as well. Let's talk about the UP angle here as Bhavtosh continues to be with us. We talk of the UP ATS picking up at least 3 individuals in Saharanpur. All of them are said to be linked to Dr. Adil, who has been held from Deoband to from the city there, as Dr. Adil is now being said to have suspected to recruit the locals into the terror network. The ATS is now probing the terror module in Western Uttar Pradesh. We'll be connecting with Adib on this very angle as far as when it comes to these said medical practitioners are concerned. Now, apart not from neglecting when their duties, but also being very much participating in terror activities and also expanding the terror network, they were tasked on hiring and recruiting when it comes to the youth there, whether be it from different parts of the country, the women's wing of the Jaish-e-Mohammed by Dr. Shaheen, and now what is being said, 3 of these individuals have been picked up in Saharanpur, and all of them are said to be linked to Dr. Adil, who is already in question, who's already in custody rather, and has been questioned by the authorities. What is being said that one is being held from Deoband and 2 others have been held from the city. So from Saharanpur mainly, we are looking at this terror network that is now being decimated, as it was Dr. Adil. Adib, we are getting this information. One of those accused terrorists now being said, who was given the charge of recruiting locals into the terror network. Adib?
Well, definitely, Amita, see, the UP ATS have picked up 3 individuals from Saharanpur. 2 have been picked up from the main Saharanpur city, and 1 of them have been picked up from the Deoband area. These 3 people were in touch with Dr. Adil, and they are said to be in close connection with Dr. Adil, who has already been arrested by JNK police and the investigative agencies. Now the ATS believe that the Dr. Adil, he was actively recruiting people in the Western UP, especially in the Saharanpur district, as he was operating from Saharanpur district, and what the security agencies believe, that he was trying to expand his network. He was trying to recruit more and more people into the parts of the Western UP, and for that reason the UP ATS have picked up these 3 people. Now they're going to question these 3 people, that how they came in touch with Dr. Adil and what exactly he used to say to get these people into his network, and what was his modus operandi. So these are the key points of investigation on which the security agencies are now trying to investigate. What we are learning, that the UP ATS will soon be taking more raids in the parts of Western Uttar Pradesh, in Lucknow also, in Muzaffarnagar, in Saharanpur. These are the places where Dr. Adil was trying to expand his network. And if we talk about Shaheen is already under the scanner of UP ATS. A team has already left for Jammu and Kashmir, where they're going to question Dr. Shaheen about her networks and her connection with Uttar Pradesh, Amita.
Right, but all of these connections that are now being also talked about when it comes to individuals who have also been picked up for questioning in multiple locations of Western UP that we are speaking of, Adib. What are we looking at as far as when it comes to how this terror network was being expanded to the extent that youths were being indoctrinated to such a level?
Well, see, Amita, Dr. Shaheen, whether it be Dr. Shaheen or her brother Dr. Pervez, they all were working in a close coordinated network. They were connected with Dr. Adil, who was especially working in Saharanpur. Now the investigative agencies, whether it be Jammu Kashmir Police or the UP ATS or NIA, they're gonna try and link all these angles. They're gonna find the common link between all these doctors who were in fact part of this terror module, and they were gonna. In fact, the place where I'm standing right now, this is the place where Dr. Shaheen used to live. In fact, this is the place
The ATS team will also be going to Srinagar as far as when it comes to the individuals who have been picked up from Uttar Pradesh. All of these details that are now lined up with more people are now being picked up for questioning. Thank you very much, Adib, for that information. But as we speak of from the UP angle to the Maharashtra angle, here is when it comes to the Maharashtra ATS is also tracking the terror module trail. Now, Dr. Shaheen's Maharashtra angle that is now being probed. 4 locations, what we are told, were raided on part of Maharashtra ATS, in particular in Mumbai and also in Mumbai. What is being said that several sensitive documents and devices have been seized. Earlier, 9 terror suspects, meanwhile, who were held in Pune, and links that are now being drawn when it comes to Dr. Shaheen, who was arrested in Faridabad, the Maharashtra ATS, which carried out raids in 4 locations in Mumbai and also in Mumbai's Kurla. Well, that is a development that we are getting to know as far as sources suggest that acting on inputs from those 9 terror suspects held in Pune, the ATS seized sensitive documents and equipment. But when we speak of the case aftermath, the ATS questions the suspects in Mumbai and the items that have been recovered from the house probe to a possible Al-Qaeda module in Pune. Now, the ATS arrested some individuals associated with the terror organization Al-Qaeda in Pune, and part of their interrogation, the ATS questioned some individuals in Mumbai, where the ATS also recovered some items from a house in Mumbai. And as far as all of these links that are now being drawn, is there now an Al-Qaeda angle to the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror network that they believe to have been expanding when it comes to recruiting of youth? Let's get connected with Nilesh on this particular angle. Nilesh, the suspects, the terror suspects who were picked up from Pune, how are they linked to the Faridabad terror module?
This is coming big. The Delhi blast are also finding roots in the state of Maharashtra. We have been reporting how, since the blast took place in Delhi, multiple agencies across the nation are working in tie, trying to figure out who exactly these individuals were and how they were interrelated. Now, what we're picking up through our sources in ATS, that arrest was also made in the month of October in Pune. One individual identified as Zubair Hangarkar was involved into international activities, and he was involved into recruitment of individuals who were pro-jihadi, sharing pro-jihadi ideologies. And this was an attempt to somewhat damage the state of India, and which is why a fresh raid has also been conducted in one of the most sensitive areas across the city of Mumbai, that is Mumbai, wherein the module of Al-Qaeda was linked to Pune. And this probe is also now spanning to in and out the area of Mumbai. We have been reporting how since the day this blast took place, ATS, NIA, Mumbai Police and other intelligence agencies are constantly active. Now, ATS has arrested, they have detained certain individuals who shares ideology with Al-Qaeda. These individuals residing from Pune, and the interrogation
led to these raids that was conducted by the Maharashtra ATS, raids that was carried out in Mumbai, raids that was carried out in Kurla, and what is being said that sensitive documents and other equipments have now been taken into custody. But the Maharashtra angle that we have been speaking of, Nilesh, as we connect with you on this angle as well, the fallout that we are looking at with pan-India crackdown that is underway, and the plot to indoctrinate has unraveled, where a teacher has also been detained in Maharashtra. Details on the detained teacher are out, where this teacher identified as Ibrahim Abidi, and the charges of brainwashing children and indoctrinating children as well. Nilesh, on this particular angle that we are looking at, multiple individuals who have been detained for questioning as far as who was the one behind when it comes to brainwashing little children. A teacher now is also being said to have been taken into custody.
Yes, absolutely. This is a series of arrest and detention that is currently underway across the Indian boundaries, across the state of Maharashtra, wherein we have been seeing that how one arrest and detention is being made from Pune and another happening from sensitive areas in and across the city of Mumbai. Several sensitive areas, be it Mumra and other likely areas, are under of police officials. Every agency that we can know of is currently grounded. They are investigating the case, and now we have also been previously reporting that how the ISI Kerala module was also functioning in the Patga area, which is not very far away from Mumbai, situated in Thane's Borivali. That area is also currently under lens of investigating agencies, be it ATS or NIA. We have been also reporting that how one of the individuals who was recently arrested by NIA had explained that how the youths of this nation are constantly under their target, and they are somewhat trying to recruit youth individuals because they are easy to
so this crackdown is going to get bigger. As we are looking at the aftermath of the Delhi blast case, we are looking at pan-India searches, raids, people being detained, people being questioned, and all of the angles, not only in particular when we speak of the Delhi blast, but overall terror angle is now being investigated by the security agencies. Nilesh, for the moment, thank you very much for joining in. But when we speak of exactly how did the blast in Delhi happen, investigators believe that it was a last-ditch Fidayeen attempt, not a fully planned one. Now, the device that was not completely prepared with no crater or projectiles found at the site as also being confirmed when it comes to the police's side, saying that no shrapnel was found at the blast site. Now, nearly when we speak of this car was carrying 80 kgs of explosive material, and that is a big development that we are getting to know in this exclusive update as Navika Kumar gets you more.
That brings me to the biggest exclusive news break. This will change everything you knew so far and the details that no one else has. Scoop number one from very high sources. Times Now knows that this I-20 that went up in flames was carrying 80 kilograms of explosive material, ammonium nitrate. Explosive material 80 kgs. This was what the agencies has not been able to detect so far, and this was the 80 kgs that doctor wanted to take and run away, and this, however, was found with no detonators or a timer at the spot. And here comes the clincher that proves that it was not a planned attack. Times Now has learned that the police already had Dr. Umar's picture and details with them. Look at this tweet from the Jammu and Kashmir police that we're putting up right here on our screens. Jammu and Kashmir police put this up. You can run, but you can't hide. 6:10 p.m. November 10, 2025. This, you can run, but you can't hide. This is the Jammu Kashmir police tweet that I'm putting up. At 6:10, when they tweeted, they had already flashed his picture to their counterparts in Haryana. They had flashed these pictures to their counterparts in Delhi, and the manhunt for Dr. Umar, the terrorist who was planning something big, came up. This was the reason. First, in the morning, the cache of 3,000 kilograms of ammonium nitrate was caught, and then this was the dead giveaway that his picture was being circulated and he was trying to run and hide. And if I can pull out two pictures that will tell you the story. One at the toll plaza where you can see him wearing a mask. And that picture will tell you why he was trying to hide his face, simply because he didn't want to get identified. And that picture, if you look at the slide here, this is the car that was going, this is his picture. He has a mask on, trying to avoid the cameras, CCTVs, and probably knowing that he had been identified and therefore running for his life, transporting this explosive material because he thought his game was up and he panicked. He panicked and ran from Badarpur right up to New Okhla industrial area, and then went on to Red Fort, where he stood in the parking for 209 minutes. The CCTV footage confirms it was Dr. Umar. I can tell you 100% that the man who was blown up in that explosion was Dr. Umar. Got off his car twice to use a washroom, a public washroom, sat inside the car waiting for the traffic to increase. And this traffic, when it would increase, he wanted to slip away unnoticed. That was his plan. He knew he had no other options left.